Oh dear. So, hi. We're up in a loft today, doing some rewiring of a bath. No, we're not. So hi, we're over here doing a bathroom fit out. First job I've got to do up here in the loft is make sense of the wiring for the lights and isolate the bathroom. So the bathroom fitter, when he comes, can start putting the bathroom apart without worrying about cutting through any live cables. So I'm just going to do that. It is an absolute spaghetti mess, which I'll show you in just a second. So what we're fitting is we're going to fit 4 new spotlights, possibly in different positions than the ones already there. I'll show you downstairs in the bathroom in a sec. We're also fitting 2 new pendant lights. There's a bathroom mirror to be fitted, which will be under a sensor. And what else are we fitting? Oh, some under cabinet lights as well. And they're all going to be fed through a dimmer switch on the wall, so the pull cord switch is coming out as well. So this will be fitted on the wall, so there'll be a dimmer switch and a normal switch. So the dimmer switch will be controlling all the lights, ceiling lights. The normal switch will be switching the cabinet lights. So I'll turn this round. You can have a look at the fun and games I've got here. Right. I can see everyone thinking, oh my god. Yeah. I've done a little bit of clearing here to try and work out this absolute shambles of a mess. So let's start with the first thing that I needed to know. So over here, that cable there, hang on, this one, that's one of the main lighting feeds. I don't need to worry about where that's coming from, I just needed to identify it. The other one, this one, is going down to the pull cord switch, so that's the switch line, and they both come over here. These are the existing downlights, one there, one there. There is one under there, that's the extractor fan come light, it's combined, and there's the other downlight. Now the whole lot's being ripped out because some of these downlights actually don't work and so on, so it's all being ripped out. That's why I'm putting in new ones, and I'll show you the new ones later on. So we've got this feed, it's all off by the way. As I say, I've got to try and work this out. So this one here, that's the main line going in. That's the main line going in into this junction box. We've then got this one. Oh, if I can reach it, that one. That one is the switch line down to the pull cord. We've got this one here. I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, that one is heading off. That one's heading off over there. I believe that one is switched into the fan, so we need that extractor fan is no longer needed, so we can disconnect that cable now. So I know what that is. We don't need to know what that is anymore. We've then got absolute shambles in here. This one here, that one, that one, that one. Yep, that one there. That one is the one that's going off to the rest of the lights in that direction over there, so that we know where that one's going. We've then got, bizarrely, a piece of 2.5mm cable here, which is this one, which heads over to this, God knows what, here, into this junction box, which feeds that light. This heads back to this junction box. Right, so this 2.5, I've got a 2.5 cable that heads over here, which is feeding that light over there. Then we've got another 2.5 cable heading up over there to that junction box, to that light, and then another piece of 2.5 cable running over there to that combined light. Extractor fan, and which is on as you can see, a transformer. Right old mess. So basically I'm going to have to rewire this completely. This is going to need a complete utter overhaul up here. But for today, basically the bathroom fitter is coming in tomorrow, so I just want to make sure, I want to isolate the electrical supply to the bathroom so that he can do what he likes downstairs, and I'll be back tomorrow trying to make some sense of this. You can see that at some point in the past there actually was a pendant light here, so obviously that's been taken out. My guess is this is a bit of a DIY botch job. There's bare cable there showing. I mean, ecky thump. I do find some weird and wonderful stuff. Right, so basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this cable, which is heading into this junction box. I'm going to take it out of there, and this one over here, I'm going to take that one out of that junction box. I'm going to splice those two cables together in a new junction box, which effectively then bypasses this complete mess, and the client can have all their other lights on. And then, as I say, the bathroom fitter can come in tomorrow knowing that there's nothing here that's live. Well, the only cable that's live actually will be this one there, and the other bit of the live cable is running over there. Other than that, there's nothing here that will be live. Ah dear. Right, so we know just a bit, we know that the wall to the bathroom is roughly here, very roughly here. The door to the bathroom is here, and obviously the end of the bathroom is over there somewhere, just by that beam, I think, in fact. So we run from wall to there. So the mirror is going to be down there somewhere. Now I might be able to get down that cavity, maybe, to put in the cables I need to put in down there, but we'll worry about that later. But right now, obviously the way that's the switch cable, but now that's not going to be long enough to get it down to that's not going to be long enough to get down to the new switch I've got to put in, so I'm going to replace. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to have to replace quite a bit of these cables, because you can't use 2.5mm cables to lights. I'll show you what I'm going to be, how I'm going to be wiring this all together a bit later on. But for now, I think what I've got to do, undo that junction box, just splice those together. I'll get me marker pen and I'll mark these cables out so I can remember what I'm doing. But it's oh dear, okay, let's get going with this. Right, so this one is the line, so we'll just make a mark on that. And that one there is the switch line. So I'll mark that out, switch. Just for my benefit, so I know what I'm doing when I come back. And then the other line is that one. There we go. Right, things from tomorrow, just so that you know. I've used gloves already to get rid of all stuff. Okie dokie. Right. So all I'm interested in at the moment is this line feed, which is that one under there. He says that's the only one I'm interested in. Oh, what a pain. Right, okay. Oh, and it's the wrong type of screws. Wrong type of screws. Bloody pain in the arse. Right. Okay. So we got. Oh, interestingly, this is a, oh hello, look at that, the earth wire's been cut on that, That's interesting. And no sheathing on that, or anything else for that matter. Great. Right. What's good about this lot? There's plenty of room. More than what I'd normally used to, if I'm honest. Right, I'm only worried about why are we on earth going to a neutral? Interesting. Right. Okay, so that is all junctioned. So that's all, this bathroom is now bypassed. So that's the feed coming from that direction. The feed going off there, junctioned in there nice and neat. I'll turn the power on a bit and just test I actually have got that right. But anyway, so that's all down there. So this switch now goes into this, but it doesn't go anywhere. This is heading off over there somewhere, but it's that's a dead wire. This is all dead up here. Everything in this section here is now dead. There's nothing here that's going to concern me at all. So that's that light there, and it all goes like, yeah, fine. Okay, so we've got the power back on, and as you can see, lights aren't working there, which is good. I've lost the landing light. Landing light, that's on, and I've checked all downstairs and all the other lights are working as well. So we've isolated that bathroom now. So there we go. Oh, it's hard work coming down those ladders. Right, so here we are in the bathroom. I'll just turn this camera around and I'll show you what we're up to. So the whole bathroom has been boarded, and all this boarding is coming down. We don't know what we're going to find when it all comes down, because it might bring the walls down as well. So we don't know what we're going to find. But as you see, there's the pull cord that's coming out. These are the lights that are coming out. Oh, that one is a combined light and fan. That's all coming out. That's not going to have a fan now because we've got a bathroom window, as you can see. So don't need a fan. So until this ceiling comes down, we don't really know what we're going to find. Whether it'll be new plasterboarded and then I'll have to put in new holes for the new lights, I don't know. The lights are potentially going to move. Now there are beams in line with the door. So there's one beam there. There's one beam there, so we don't have a lot of wriggle room to move these lights in that sort of plane. It's not so bad, this one here. We've got a bit more of a wiggle room there on that one, and obviously the same with that one, coming that way and that way. That's not so bad. And obviously going this way is not a problem at all. So the switch is coming out here. There we go. The switch is actually coming here, and I'll show you what the switch is a bit later. Then the mirror, new mirror, sensor mirrors going there, and under cabinet lights down here. So I need to run cables down this wall as well. Is where that is for the pull cord is take a slight measurement that way, which looks about 2 to 3 inches. I'll make a little pilot hole up there, which should come down in the cavity of this wall. And if I tuck the hole out for the switch, which is going here somewhere, hopefully I should see daylight. And then I can drop the cables down. There's 2 cables going to come down for the switch line, because there's going to be the dimmer, which is going to be controlling the ceiling lights, and the 2 pendant lights that are going there and there. That the dimmer switch will be controlling those, and the other switch will be controlling the under cabinet lights. The cabinet's going hereish. Okay, excuse, I'm all bunged up because I've got a cold. Anyway, so we've got the ceiling lights out. You can see there's the old pendant light hole, and we've got all that over there as well. Now we've got two lots of 1.5mm cable, as you can see. Drilled a couple of holes. Those holes there, they're 8mm holes, and they've gone down into the partition, into the stud wall. Interesting problem we had is dealing with 20mm thick plasterboard, and all the dry lining boxes I've got are 15 and 18s. So I've had to trawl around trying to find a 20mm one. I found one in the end at CEF. Anyway, you can see I've got the super rods out. So the super rods, got those down, those cables down using those. I'm going to label these cables now and then put the dry line box in and carry on from there. So here I am all PPE'd up. I'm going to do some wall chasing here in this bathroom. I'm not going to show the actual chasing being done because it's very loud, very noisy, very messy and boring. So I'm going to show you the tools that we're going to use, and then I'll show you the chasing after it's been finished, and then tell you how quickly we got it done. Now, there's lots of ways of doing chasing. This is the way I do it, and a lot of other people saying, no, that's not the way you want to do it. I do it this way. I find it nice and quick and easy. It's always worked for me, so I always do it this way. So I'll show you the tools, and then we'll show you the chasing, and I'll tell you how long it took. So here's my Rewire STS drill. It's got an 18 volt, 4 amp hour battery on there. Lasts for ages, that thing does. I've got two with batteries anyway, but anyway. But the main thing is the tool that's on the front. That is a 30mm wide wall chasing tool. And effectively, you put that on the demolition mode on this, or only hammer mode. I'll just show you. So you see, it doesn't rotate. And you can't see from there, but if I do that, you can see that it's angled. And that will give you a nice, even depth when you're wall chasing, especially into thermalite block, which is what we're doing here. It literally just goes through that like a knife through butter. In fact, it's so quick that it's quite easy to make mistakes and go too deep. So you do it in little chunks, and then just make sure you're not going too deep and stuff. Anyway, that's the main tool for getting rid of all the thermalite block. But what I do to start with, and I've lost it now, hang on. So I've got a multi-tool here with a blade on it at right angles, it's easier to do it. That I use to cut through the plasterboard to the thermalite block. So I've got two lines that I can then chisel through. And what I normally find is that when I do that is that the plasterboard comes out in a nice, neat, straight line down the wall or across the wall. And then when I'm using the wall chaser, the chasing tool, I can't remember what it's called, but it's called a chasing tool, I believe. I'll put it on the video later. But it then stops the extra plasterboard from cracking and crumbling away. So I use those two tools to do it, and I'll just show you the chase that it comes up with. So here's the chasing that's done. As you can see, it's even with doing the multi-tool first, it still does crack the plasterwork in places, and the thermalite block crumbles. It crumbles anyway. There's not much you can do about that. But it gets a nice, reasonably even depth all the way through. You can then put your trunking or whatever you're doing to put your cables down. In this case, we're coming down to this, and then I'm doing a dog leg to come down further down. That took, I'd say, about, well, it was less than 10 minutes to do all of that. Less than 10 minutes. We had some hidden cables over here, so I was being very cautious coming down here. So normally it would be a lot quicker than that, so I was just being cautious. I took some core samples, if you like, just to make sure there was nothing under there that was going to surprise me. That's fine. So we've come down there. There was already a hole in the ceiling, so I just made use of that. So come down there. So I'm just going to dogleg that out down here because we've got some under cabinet lights to go in down the bottom there, and the electric mirrors coming here. So I'll just finish that off, get the trunking in there, get the cables down, and then that's be done within the bathroom itself. The rest of my work is up in the loft. So plasterer can come in tomorrow and get the wall plastered, and I can then do the mirror and the under cabinet lights down here once I've done the lights upstairs. Right, so we're all done at last. Excuse me. So we're all done at last. So cap that all off. Probably can't see very well, but he's quite deep in underneath there. There's no problem there. Coming down here. First bit, those now. Right now, we don't know this LED mirror that's coming. It's caused all sorts of fun and games for me, the bathroom fitter, and for the client. We still don't know if it's a 230 volt mirror or it's a 12 volt mirror. And the plasterers are coming tomorrow, so they're going to plaster this wall. So, on the side of caution, what I've done is I put down a 1.5mm cable, which is this one. It's only 40 to 55 watts, this mirror, so it's not going to be a high load thing, so it can be on the lighting circuit, that's not a problem. So this is the 230 volt 1.5mm, but I've also dropped a 2-core 1.75 12 volt cable. So one of those will get used, the other one will get pulled back, and because we've put it all into trunking, it'll be dead easy to put it back. This will be a blind grommet, which will be surface mounted into the plaster when it's plastered. I just think that's going to look neat and tidy. It's going to be hidden behind, the mirror, but a nice blind grommet. Cables coming out, not as if the cable's not just coming out of plasterwork. So a blind grommet there, that'll be put in. Then we've got a dog leg coming down to the rest. Now, what's coming down here is for the under cabinet lights. This is only this is only a 12 volt cable. So, bearing in mind this is a special location. Oh, that's hurt my leg. So we're coming down here, and this is all the pipes coming in for the vanity unit. But this is a 12 volt cable coming down here. That's not a problem. We don't need to be a certain distance away. We can be absolutely fine down there. So, and this mirror's way above this. That's not a problem. And apart from the sink being here, the actual bath, shower and stuff is on the far side of the wall, over 2 meters away. So we're perfectly fine with the zoning and stuff. Again, down the bottom there, we'll have I'll put another blind grommet down there so that it can come straight through the wall, straight to the under cabinet lights. Transformer for that, I'm going to stick up in the loft, somewhere up there somewhere. So there'll be a 12 volt, 230 volt to 12 volt transformer in the loft, which will come down. And as I say, that's going to be switched to the switch on the outside. And eventually there'll be 2 pendant lights there and there coming dropping down, but that's not for a while yet. Now, just over here, there's the other bit I had to do. This was all boxed in before. You might have noticed when we did the original video. When we took the boxing out, this cable, which is a 1.5mm cable, comes down, and there's only one lighting circuit. So this is coming down here and was completely loose, just hanging down inside this boxing. So what I've done is just neaten that up a bit and just run the cable down through a little bit of trunking just to keep it out of the way, down to the fork that then goes to the downstairs lights. 2-minute job that was. I don't know why it wasn't done when the house was built, but there you go. There you go. Probably lots and lots of time constraints for electricians and plumbers when the house is being built. This was built back in the 1980s, by the way. Anyway, so I thought I'd just get that done out of the way. And like I say, we had some fun and games here. I actually discovered that these were actually still live. So I've isolated those now, and then cut away the cables, so there's no live cables or any sort of cables there now, apart from what's in there. But it's all dead, so that's no problem there. So it can just be plastered over now without anybody worrying about it. Okay, so we're done in here now. So the new lights are, there's one that's had to slightly move. The old light position was there The client wanted it moved, so it's now moved a little bit, so it's going to be filled by the plasterers. This is where the old extractor fan was. It's not being used anymore. New light and new light, and those two are going to be filled in as well. So a slight change of positions for the downlights, and what's under there is what was the old pendant light. So just waiting for the plasterers to come in tomorrow, and while they're doing their bit, I'm going to be up in the loft wiring all this lot together. Obviously we can't do anything with this until the vanity unit comes in, the under cabinet lights and the mirror. Once they come in, then we can finish the wiring here. But right now it's the plasterer's job in here to do some work. So I'm going to tidy up, I'm going to head home, and I'll be back in tomorrow. Okay, so rather than show how this all goes together actually in the loft of the bathroom installation that we're doing, I thought I'd try and demonstrate it here as to what exactly we're going to be doing in the loft. So I'm not quite sure how clear it will be once we get in the loft, so I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to try and demonstrate it here if I can. So the very first thing I'm going to simulate here is the line feed coming from either another room or coming directly from the consumer unit. So that that line, that cable is going to come into, it's going to come into the switch and load. So let's move this out of the way. We don't need that at the moment. So we're going to put into here, we're going to simulate the cable coming up from the previous light or from the consumer unit into here. Then we're going to simulate another cable coming out of here, which is going on to the next room. Right, so I'm just going to cut a piece of 1.5mm cable, or a couple of bits of 1.5mm cable, just to simulate this. Now, the quick wire tool is really quite clever with this. So you get your, let's see if I can zoom this in. So you'd get your 1.5mm cable with your quick wire tool. So hopefully it comes in. Woo, there we go. Okay, as you can see, there's a 22mm mark. Put your cable up to the 22mm mark, like that, squeeze the trigger, and it strips the cable for you. Let's take that off there. Here's the cable all stripped. But then, do it again. But the tool up against the sheath, and cut again. What that's now done is those conductors are now the correct length to go into the quick wire. And take hold of that, and what you're going to do, turn it over. Nope, sorry, I got it wrong way. I had the right way around to start with. So you're going to get those. I'm going to push them, whoops, a second. I'm going to push them into there. Push them home, push it in, and that's done. No copper shown, absolutely the right length. Let's do that again. We'll do it on the other side, so we're simulating the load going on to another room now. Smooth that out of the way just a minute. So you get the quick wire tool. I'm just going to, a bit difficult to do it when you're behind the camera. There we go. Strip it, put away the sheath, put it back on again, cut again, move that out of the way. Push it home, squeeze it in, done. So that wire there. So there you go. So we've now simulated. So we've now simulated the load, sorry, not the load, the power feed coming in from the consumer unit or another room, then heading off to another room. All done. What would you do if you got that round the wrong way, which I nearly did? You knew you saw me do that. I nearly got it round the wrong way. Well, that is where this tool comes in. Because these are maintenance-free junction boxes, it actually stipulates in the regulations that there must be a tool needed in order to disconnect the cables, and that's what this does. See, I've located those lugs on there, you should be able to see that. Push, and it's released it. Pull the cable out. Get it round the right way, just push them back close so they go in. Push it back in. Done. Simple as that. Right, so let's, as I say, in this particular case, we're going to be hooking this up to these two downlights. Let's hook this up as if we're going to this switch. So there's the switch. Switch line, normal line. Let's cut another couple of lengths of 1.5 cable. Again, exactly the same procedure as before. Grab your quick wire tool, push it through to the 22. Pull that out, bring it back into the sheath, cut it again, strip it again rather. That's done. Now, remember what I said about the lighting. The neutral here is going to be your switched line rather. So your blue will go into your LS. Your line will go into line. Okay, push that in. And that's done. Now, at the other end, obviously what you'd normally do, and I will show this when we go to install this, at this end of the cable, obviously you would sheath the blue neutral with a brown piece of sleeving to indicate that it's a switched line. And don't forget to do that. So we're done there. So now we've got to hook up these lights. So the next thing we need to do is we need to hook this with that. So on the load side, let's just move that out. There we go. So on the load side, we're now going to connect that load to one of these connections here. Another piece of cable. Right, same thing. Strip the end. There we go. Put it in again. Strip. There we go. So that's done. So now we're going to take the low, or better just do the other end, so it makes it easier for the demonstration. So put it up to 22. Put it in again. There we go, done. So we're going to take the load. I put it the wrong way out then, didn't I? Oh, that's CPC's a little bit bent. There we go. Oh, no, that's not going to do that time. Yeah. Nearly had that earth in the live there. Alright, there we go. Let's try that. That's better. I'm not so sure that went in properly then. You might have noticed. I don't think that went in right. So I'm just going to take that off camera just a second. No, it hadn't got in right. Let's just try it again. That's better. Don't know whether you've noticed, but that the cable hadn't gone all the way home. That middle CPC was still wrong. So what we need to do now is bend this cable round. Bend this cable round. it will look neater when it's installed for real. Shove this into here. That's a technical term for push it in. And again, that's not going right. Hang on, let's try that again. There we go. What you should see, let me just zoom that in. You can see there, when you're pushing this in, make sure that the sheath goes in at least about halfway before these start to go in. If not, these conductors haven't gone all the way in. I'll just push that in now. There, done. Otherwise you'll see the problem I had up here with this one, where you can actually see the copper showing because it hadn't gone in properly. So just watch that. Okay, so there we go. So the load now we've got going to the splitter. So now we need to run 2 more cables off this, which are going to go to the lights. So let's just try and go through what I've actually achieved here, shall we? So we've got simulated. We've got a simulated power feed coming in from the consumer unit or from another room, then heading off to the rest of the house. On the other side, that lower one is going off to the switch. So we've got the neutral conductor connected into the switch line. That would normally be brown sleeved and heads off to the light. The load is connected in the usual way, blue and brown, so you can see in the middle. That's heading off to the splitter, and the splitter's load is then heading off to the 2 downlights. Hopefully in the loft it will look an awful lot neater than the fact that I've tried to squeeze this onto this workbench in my office. But I'm hoping that the method of doing it actually will look a lot better here. In the loft, it'll be a little bit more difficult to actually try and demonstrate all of this. So when I come to do this for real, hopefully I'll be able to lay out these cables really nice and neatly. These junction boxes will be connected to the joists using those, and then the cables also will be connected to the joists as well, and then just the cables running to the lights. So it'll look a lot neater. I think you'll be able to see it for real as to how it looks. Obviously we're going to have a couple of these daisy chained together because we're going to have 4 down lights and 2 pendant lights, all powered off this dimmer switch. Trailing edge dimmer switch, I might add, for LED lights. That's what that is. This is from Vari-Light, like I said earlier. The other switch is going to control the under cabinet lights. Now that will be fed from a different splitter, sorry, not a different splitter, from a different one of these, from the main feed, going to a transformer because they're 12 volt lights. So that's what's going down to that. There's also the mirror, which I've just remembered. That's also going to have to be split off this load at some point, but we'll do that when we get to see the mirror, which is being delivered in a few days. So I hope that helps. I hope that's a bit informative about how this all works. I do think these quick wires make life for electricians a lot easier. Yes, laid out like this, you might be thinking, what's the benefit between that and using normal junction boxes? Well, I hope that when we actually do this for real in the loft, and you'll see that later in the video, you will see the benefit, the real benefit for these things. But I hope you can see that there is a benefit to them. They are very quick to use. I wired that lot up in probably about 15-20 minutes. I'll check the timings on the video. But that's how quick that was done. That was about 15-20 minutes of that. I don't see it taking much longer than that in the real world. Yes, you'll be running with longer cables and things like this, but the actual connecting up of the cabling shouldn't take any longer than what you've just seen in the video. Whatever you do, when you are doing it, so don't lose this or forget this. If you make a mistake with these and you get the cables around the conductors around the wrong way, you won't get them apart without that. It's as simple as that. You'd have to cut the cable. Well, if you haven't got that, you can't use it. It's, you know, and then you're really stuck. Anyway, I'm going to shut up waffling, and we're going to head back to the loft. Right, hopefully you can see some of this. It's a bit dark up here, but these are the black cables that have come up from the two new pendant lights that I've put in. The white cables, one of them is this one. Oh, this is a 0.75 3-core cable. We ran that instead of the twin and earth 1.5 down to the mirror, because the mirror's, you know, it's a LED mirror. We couldn't get it to go on the wall. It just wouldn't do it with the twin and earth. The twin and earth just wouldn't bend. So what I did was checked out the rating on the mirror, and this is perfectly fine. So this is now goes through the joist there, comes down here into a junction box, then a quick fly lead 1.5 into there. So quick recap. This is the main lighting circuit cable. That goes into here and then heads off to the rest of the circuit. No, it doesn't. It I'm confused myself. That then heads off down here to this one. Then the power goes off to the rest of the house. That goes down. That goes down to the dimmer switch, and the load currently goes to the 4 spotlights. Now that's where I need to make a change, and then we'll do that in a second. Over here on the splitter, we've got this here, this. The grey cable goes down to the single switch on the outside wall. That is going to control the under cabinet lights, so that will be onto that port there. So there's multiple ways I could get these pendant lights on. I could junction those two cables together and add them into that over there. But what I'm going to do, this is the way I'm going to do it. Get another one of these load splitters. I'm going to disconnect the load from that light there, stick that in there, and then I'm going to run a single twin and earth cable over to here, junction those to it. Bob's your uncle. There are lots and lots of ways you can do lighting circuits. This is the way I'm going to do it. It looks a bit of a rat's nest up here at the moment. That there's a cable here that's nothing to do with the lighting circuit, that's to do with something else. I am going to tidy this up when this job is completed at the end of the week. I am going to be sorting this out, tidying it up, making sure all the cables are in a much better state than they are at the moment. There's a lot of slack on these cables at the moment, and a lot of cables here that don't need to be here anymore as well, for that matter. So it is still a bit of a work in progress, but then these are all going to be attached to the woodwork, and it'll look a lot neater come Friday. Anyway, I'm going to get on and put this in, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at it. So moving on with the bathroom job, we've got the LED mirror on. I've just put in the two pendant lights. They'll need slight adjustments. Probably see in there that one's slightly lower than the other, but I've left enough cable in to do the adjustments with. So they're into the ceiling. Done this, all the spotlights all done. Power's off, the lighting circuit's off at the moment, so I can't really do anything with that. But they're on, so I just need to wire them in upstairs into the circuit that we were doing earlier. Had to wait a couple of weeks because the stuff hadn't arrived. And the mirror, we've been waiting for the mirror for ages. So the mirror's in now though. I'll demonstrate that later in the video as to how that works. It's touch sensitive. If you can't see that there, you wave in front of that and it turns it on. So the pendant light's on the same switch, the dimmer switch, as the downlights. That is hardwired into the lighting circuit, and then the last thing we've got to do is the LED strip underneath the cabinet, which I'm just waiting on parts. Hopefully they're arriving tomorrow. So I'm going to get up in the loft, wire these into the circuit, and then see if they work. Right, so here we go. I think it looks really nice. Now, what's special about this mirror is, let's see if I can, let's see if I can do it. Difficult one-handed. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit difficult one hand with the phone. There you go. There we go. So that's working nicely. So those lights are all on the dimmer switch. The mirror's hardwired in. So if I turn, there we go. So that's the dimmer turning it off. dimmer on, dimmer up. There we go, you can see a bit of shimmering actually. Let's dim those down. Here we go. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. I'm pleased with that. So the next job will be tomorrow to get the under cabinet lights all fitted in and then neaten up the loft, get all that wiring all nicely neatened up, and I'll show you the loft wiring once it's all neatened up and done. Pleased with that. Right, okay. We're nearly done now. So this bathroom has a total of 8 lights, so 4 down lights, 2 pendant lights, an LED mirror, and I'm just finishing wiring the under cabinet lights, which is what's going on here. So we're just testing that out. I've just tested them and they're all working fine. I just need to shorten cables and things. I've made a start on tidying up the wiring. As you can imagine, I just said we've got 8 lights here, plus the cable that's running all the way across the rest of the house. And you've got to try and keep enough slack on the cable so for changing lights and maintenance and things. It's not easy to try and keep it tidy, but I'm trying to keep it as tidy as I possibly can. So like I say, I'm just starting tidying up by mounting the junction with the quick link junction boxes up, and the other junction boxes that you can see. I'm trying to get them all nicely put on, and the wiring over there. Trying to keep the wiring below the beam level because they want to board over this, so that's another reason why I'm trying to keep it nice, neat and tidy. And they're going to screw the boards on, so if anything needs to be changed then they can in the future. So yeah, so we're done up here, just a bit of tidying up to do, getting things mounted in the right place, and then we're going to go and mount the under cabinet light downstairs, and we'll show you how it all looks all finished. So I'm upside down, but this is the under cabinet light in the bathroom. All done. So 12-volt cable coming through there. Left a little bit of slack on it, just that'll be fine. It's all self-adheted onto the bottom of the cabinet and held into place. As you can see, it's self-adhesive stuff's there, and a couple of, can't remember what they're called now. I'll put it up on the video if I can find the information for them. They're off Amazon. They're mainly used on model railways and things, but I've used them before and they do the job. So that's that done, and that's it. I'll just show you the finished bathroom. Okay, so here is the finished bathroom. Both pendant lights done. Mirror. There we go. Sensor mirror. There we go. You've just seen the under cabinet light, which is down there, and the 4 spots. So if we come back out to the switch, there's the switch. So the switch, on, controls the under cabinet lights. There we go. And the dimmer controls, put them up, the pendant lights and the main light. Turn them down, and there we go. So it also goes on and off as well. So there we go, all done. I'm really pleased with that. That's really come out really nice. Yeah, happy with that. Bro, done job. On to the next one.